going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trick 10s. This is part 2 of the electric only 1860 Lowe Roughneck. Now we're going to pick up right where we left off. I got this whole front deck framing in here. I'm getting ready to pull that out in just a second. I got to get this live well staged up first. Then we're going to weld that front deck kit from both sides, put this thing in here, start making it permanent. Austin's back helping me out today. He has been killing this project with me. He's got almost all of the hatch track frames already put together. So I got to go burn the lids for those. But we're going to get a whole lot of stuff covered in this video right here. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get back to work. All right, so check it out, guys. We did find some waterlogged foam in here. Surprise, surprise. Well, not really that surprised, but it was up underneath the floor right here. I dug out a good chunk of it, and there's still some water down in there. But I went ahead and I cleaned up that little area right there, because that is where the hole is going to be for my live well. And I went ahead and made this live well. This is like a 25, 26 gallon live well. It's going to go in here. It's a big live well. He wanted to have a big live well, keep his fish alive. I put the recessed drain plug in there. Now, the reason that's offset to the side is because obviously I'm centering this live well for weight purposes, because it's electric only and weight is very important in these builds. But I can't put the hole right to the center because it's going to go into this big rib in the center right here. So it's got to go off to the side 3 inches. It'll still drain fine. It'll be perfectly fine. So I'm going to get this thing staged up where it needs to be. And then I'm going to reach through this hole with a marker, mark a hole on the bottom of the hole. And then I'm going to run my pipe all the way through the bottom of the hole and through this piece here, weld it from both sides. That's how I do all of my live well drains, and it works out really well. Now, obviously, we'll have the plumbing and stuff on either side of that, but this drain has got to go in here first. We got to get the correct height of this thing staged up. That way we know where this deck frame is at and that it's going to be permanent, because once this deck frame is permanent, this live well is not coming out of here. So this live well is going in here first and get this thing installed, guys. Let's get back to work. right, so wow, man, this thing is really starting to look like something. This whole back deck area right here, now this is like 4 foot across here, and it's over 2 feet this direction. So I didn't want to just put one gigantic hatch back here because the partner that he fishes with, his backseat boater, he's a good sized guy. He's a full grown man, and he needs to have some support back here underneath all of these deck pieces. And that's just a gigantic hatch anyways. So look, you still got plenty of room in here to get in here and put batteries and stuff. Very easily accessible. This hatch is like 24 by 22 inches. So 2 of them allow me to put stiffener brace across the middle. Yeah, look, I also put a little kickstand going down right here. And that's welded solid and to this tube across here. So this thing is really strong. A whole splash well area turned out really cool too. We are gonna be putting a jack plate on here to move the motor back off the boat about 6 inches, maybe 8 inches. This thing is looking so cool, man. Big storage space in here. Still got to put the floor in there. Obviously, all these hatches are going to be going off the powder coating probably tomorrow, but I just wanted to stage everything up so I could get a feel for it before I take all these hatches out of here. This is a big rod locker. It's got a 9-foot rod locker in here. In front of the rod locker, we just threw like a little day storage. It's got a 2.5-inch pan in there, and you're gonna be able to fit a lot of stuff in there. I mean, tons of cold tags and pliers, soft baits, whatever you want. There's a lot of space in there. We got the live well. It's a big live well. Definitely sick. This hatch, I put some dual gas pistons on. I did take them off because I'm gonna be taking these things to the powder coaters, but you see I got my brackets on there for them. That's one thing that I do, is I weld those little tabs on there. I don't use the ones that screw on. I just think it's better like that. You can replace them if you need to. I'm just taking the little clip out and pulling the piston off, but these brackets will always be on here, and you don't have to worry about those screws loosening up. It's just the way I like to do them. It turns out pretty sick. Then in front of that, this is our small hatch. Just gonna give him some access to this little bit of space he's got up here. Obviously the rod locker's coming in here, and we got some sheeting to do up here. He's gonna have his recessed foot pedal tray here, so it's not a ton of sheeting, but basically it's gonna be one piece on this side right here, and then he's gonna have his seat base pedestal right here. He's gonna have a little short piece on either side of that, and the same thing on the other side. They have another piece that's basically gonna come up to this side of the recessed foot pedal tray, on and back, and then it's gonna pick up here to this. Now this is pretty cool. This is gonna be his electrical panel hatch. It's gonna have all his switches, fuses, everything's gonna be right there inside of this hatch. Now the reason that I moved this hatch forward just a little bit, I centered it in these 2 hatches because I need some dead space right here. And the reason for that is because this pan inside of here, it sits down in there 2.5 inches. Well, this live well is right here, and I want to put an overflow in here. And I can't put the overflow on that side because he's got the rod locker next to it. So this side, I've got to put it here. I was originally going to move this right here and just pick it up here, but this little 6-inch space right here will allow me to put my drain tube fitting as high up in the top of the live well as possible. So that way the water gets full, it'll run over, and I'll just run it right out the side of the hole over here, and I'll shoot a hole out the side over here. But if I had this pan all the way over here, then I wouldn't be able to get that fitting all the way up to the top of it because it would end up hitting the bottom of this pan, and then that pan would interfere with it. So that's why I did it this way, and it's gonna work out good like that. And obviously we gotta run all his pumps and all kinds of stuff, but he came in and he did add a couple of things in here. Now, originally we were just thinking about doing the 1 rod locker on that side, and then having this hatch would come all the way across and just leaving this alone. Well, he didn't like that, and he wanted it to be all symmetrical. So we've got another hatch here and here. These hatches, these are actually some pretty cool hatches. These things got coolers inside of them. He wanted dual coolers. Pretty sick. Those will have the regular drain plugs like you put in the rear of the transom, and you just tighten them up in the bottom, fill them up with ice. We're gonna insulate them. So that way he'll have 2 coolers, or he could use one as a bait well, or if he catches a big fish and he wants to move a couple fish into here, he could do that if he wanted to plumb this up. But for now, they're just going to be dry boxes or coolers. And then this is going to be a big tackle storage area right here. And there's a lot of space inside of here too, man. I mean, That is a big size hatch. So that's probably gonna house most of his tackle in here and some tackle in there. He is gonna have 3 batteries in there, but this hatch right here is like 45 inches by 26. So he's gonna have plenty of room in there for batteries. We did install these floor pieces in here. And what that is gonna do is when we put the sheeting in here, it's gonna catch our sheet. So we have something to attach it to in the floor. I don't like the V-bottom, but I wasn't gonna try to change all that. It would just be a whole lot of extra work. And since the floor is literally only 38 inches by 33 inches, it's not that big of a deal. It is a pretty small floor. It looks a lot smaller than it actually is in the video, but this floor space is about the size of the normal boat builds that I do. It's just that this is a gigantic boat and it makes it look a lot smaller. This thing's gonna be sick though. We still gotta do some vertical supports and stuff in here and get all our sheeting and stuff like that finished up. And we got to do some supports up underneath of this where his base pedestal seat is going to go. But we got a lot done, guys. I mean, this thing looks really dope. The whole layout is here. The main point of what we're doing now is trying to get all these hatches completed and get all the holes drilled in them and everything ready. They all have drain tubes in them and stuff. So, that's important. We got to get all this finished up because we're going to take this to the powder coaters and it's going to probably take them 2 or 3 days to get this done and get them powder coated. So when we get these back, we'll have wrapped up the rest of this metal work and then I'll be ready to start doing all the electrical and plumbing and getting ready to finish up all this stuff and putting it back together, paint, turf, wrap. This thing's gonna be sick, man. There's a lot going on with this build and I'm really digging it. It is going to be a hell of a rig when it's all finished. All right, guys, so pretty sick project, huh? Electric only 1860 Lowe Roughneck. Now this thing went way beyond what I thought it was going to be. I did not think it was going to be this intricate. I did not think this budget was going to be this big for it. I knew it was going to be a cool build. It's different, it's challenging, but man, we are killing this thing. This is going to be the sweetest Lowe Roughneck I've ever seen. I mean, this one's a little bit different than some of the newer ones because it's old. He actually told me this thing's a 96 and he's the original owner. I was mind blown. I thought it was like a 2012, but it's definitely a cool boat though. The hull's in good shape. So there's no reason why we shouldn't build it out. It's a solid welded boat. It's taking pretty good care of it. So it's going to be a sweet build when it's done. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like, subscribe button, leave a comment. You guys want any merchandise, you can find that on trick10s.net. If you need any work done, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to Austin. I'm going to leave a link for his Instagram in the description of this video. Go check him out. He's definitely hungry right now. And I'm sure Austin would definitely appreciate it. Guys, this thing is sick though. I'm getting hyped about this build. We're gonna be wrapping this build up in the next couple of weeks. Y'all stay tuned because the next episode, you're going to get to see the turf, get an idea of what's going on with this wrap and the colorway. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see y'all next time. Let's get back to work.